first of all, Briege, tell me about your community within the Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce, your office. How are you all doing?
We're all doing exceptionally well. We're incredibly busy, but we're healthy, thank God. Last week, we just went into overdrive of how can we work differently because we can't do face-to-face, we can't touch. So we started with our patron members, our platinum members saying, look, we know we can't see each other any longer. However, we still want to be in contact. So we're actually picking up the phone. Communication is paramount. Then we went into overdrive on webinars. We did an animation video. I don't know if you've seen it on LinkedIn with a little guy giving all the advice out. We're just working differently. So we've set up virtual events.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking today on Zoom, and I'd never used Zoom before.
I've used Zoom before, yeah.
You know, there's like Skype, there's FaceTime. I know, Teams, there's all these things. So, you know, it's great. Yeah. So, obviously, you are here to support businesses in Hertfordshire. But next,
businesses and the community.
And the community as well. Yeah, I think Absolutely. It's important to say that, isn't it? So what are you doing next week with that in mind? As long as things don't change too rapidly by next week.
Absolutely. So if all stays as it should and we can move around, we're allowed to move outside. We're going to be out in the fresh air. Our staff will be out there and we'll be videoing in different towns across the county. We're not going to get every town done next week, so it's a plan over the next 4 weeks. We will phone the members in an area, for example, say it was Hemel, Maylands Avenue.
Yeah.
We're going to phone them in advance, but we're also going to phone the frontline community, the charities that are working with the homeless or they're working with the food banks, to also ask them would they like to be interviewed outside in the fresh air, a metre apart, and speak on our camera to say what they need, what support do they need, so we can try and get their message out, and then we'll just upload them. They'll look amateurish. If anybody, when they see this, says, actually, I'm happy to come and video and do it for you professionally, we'd love it.
Great. And what kind of reaction have you had? I mean, you must have been inundated with people calling you and contacting you. What kind of reaction have you had over the last week or so?
I think we've had a lot of calls, a lot of people worried. I think first and foremost about the health, what did they do, HR, cash flow, massively about cash flow because it's what keeps the company going. I am on a daily call, a CEO call with the British Chamber of Commerce every day. They're talking to ministers and the Prime Minister every day.
Wow.
So they're lobbying for the support that we all need, you know, the loans that they're talking about, how do we access them, the grant service, how do we access it, just everything that we possibly might need, you know, the sort of things that they've come up with, that should we have a VAT holiday and things like that. So they're lobbying. We know later on today the Chancellor is speaking. We've urged him to speak before 5 o'clock because it's a Friday. There'll be further announcements made. Every day there'll be further announcements. It's a moving target.
Wow. And of course, the schools are finishing. So the big number one thing now is, of course, is childcare, kids at home, working from home. What are we going to do?
Well, I think that you just have to do your best. There is no, this is unprecedented. I mean, they wrote, there will not be anybody in the UK or perhaps around the world who's ever experienced anything like this.
No.
So it's uncharted waters. The one thing I would say is communication with your family, communication with your employees, communication with your suppliers, communication with your customers is key.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, you know, when we had the Depression in the 30s, completely different set of circumstances. But the one business that came out on top was Kellogg's because they did a vibrant sort of brand with all the colours. It was something to eat where people were going hungry, and they're still there.
Wow.
So we need to change our way and think a little bit, you know, innovation, that's what we've got to do.
Yeah.
Whether that will see us through, everybody, you know, not everybody's going to make it, I don't think. Maybe you don't want to say that, but it is possible that not everybody's going to make it. And I think people are very stressed and very worried about how they navigate through this.
And I think
the SMEs and the sole traders, they're all very, very worried.
Yeah, of course they are. And I think in these times, the acts of kindness will shine through, and they'll be remembered when we come through the other side, won't they? We've had one of our members in Stevenage rang up and said, we can change up manufacturing to do ventilators. How do we let people know that? So I took that on the call yesterday with the BCC and passed it through. They got they joined up with Bays. They had to fill in an application form. So we've said keep us informed because we'd love to come over and see that that actual change in application. So there's lots of lovely things happening, but it is, I think, people's concerned, and every day when they don't know what the answer is, that's not good. We need to get answers a little bit quicker from government. Yeah. Well, look, you're doing... But we're here to support everything. We're taking calls, we're emailing, we're working around the clock. It's uncharted waters for us, but we're here to support every member. And even non-members, who I had one yesterday, rang me up. We didn't have our meeting to join him up, but he rang me and said he's manufacturing immune drugs. Are they going to be a key business, key worker? I didn't even know what that was yesterday morning. I had to get onto the BCC call. Incredible. He's got that confirmed now. Amazing. It is a bit exhausting. Yeah. But we've just got to keep going. That's what the Chamber is about, keeping going. Well, look, you keep in touch with us. Let us know what you're doing. I wish you luck next week with getting in touch with everybody. John. I hope that goes well for you. Yep. We'll keep you informed. You'll see our videos. Yeah. Thankfully, the weather's going to be nice, so we're not going to be doing it with brollies. I tell you what, it looks like spring has sprung in this weird, uncertain world. Yeah. That will be good. Lovely. All right, then, lovely John, to catch up. Thank you. Okay, bye.
This is Heart.